On June 7, 2023, what were you doing? Was it a typical day at work, school, or browsing your phone? Because that day was like a bomb going off for the rest of the football world. The greatest player of our time, Lionel Messi, declared he was leaving European football.
Messi no va a hacer nada con Inter de Miami.
Messi, en momentos de adversidad, qué lejos estás de Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, I just think he's not a leader. He's not the leader at 1-1.
Yo he sentido lástima al verlo jugar hoy. Este Messi ya no le da, es que no le da.
Luego, por último, la otra pregunta clave, tras saber que no volverás al Barcelona, ¿hacia dónde se encaminan tus pasos? ¿A Arabia, que se ha dicho también? ¿A Miami?
No,
¿A otro sitio?
no. Tomé la decisión de que voy a ir a Miami. Todavía no tengo cerrado 100%, nos falta algunas cosas, pero bueno, decidimos continuar el camino.
Messi!
Just for Messi's arrival. This is massive. It's impossible to really overstate just how big this is going to be.
From asking, Lionel Messi around Zimmerman. Messi! He is inimitable!
Aplaudo la MLS porque la clavó en un ángulo. Golazo de la MLS. Lo que hizo realmente en consiga Messi termina siendo espectacular.
Messi!
We have such a diverse culture, and now we have one of the world's greatest players, if not the world's greatest player to ever play the game in our city, in our club.
Messi settles, and that's it! Ties the MLS Cup! It's over! Number 10, Lionel Messi. Your League's Cup 2023 champion in Miami, to enjoy. The goal achieved. Inter Miami champions of Major League Soccer.
The timing of Messi's arrival was impeccable. He arrived in Miami during the beginning of the League's Cup, a brand new competition. In an odd little experiment, teams from MLS and LIAMX would compete in groups of 3 across the United States, rushing through the full knockout process in less than a month. It had the feel of a little World Cup pieced together with turmoil and ambition. For a man who had just conquered Qatar, it was the ideal playground. Naturally, Messi handled it in that way. 10 goals, 7 games, and an indisputable feeling that something legendary was emerging in Inter Miami's pink shirt. His first screenplay was a realization of his dream. The renowned Ricardo Tuca Ferretti was Cruz Azul's coach.
Now underway, the 2023 Leagues Cup. Inter Miami and Cruz Azul.
To remind everyone that this team, this frail, damaged side, only understood how to lose, they had numerous opportunities to crush Miami. However, when fate enters the game, football has a tendency of holding its breath. And the mood shifted when the number 10 entered.
Welcome, the world's number 10.
It wasn't sound. It wasn't anticipated. It was a sensation, a subtle assurance that something remarkable was about to happen. Cruz all was still in complete control by the 87th minute. Tabo Christian.
Oh, calendar again!
However, they made the one error that you just do not do when Lionel Messi is around in the 92nd. They fouled him on the edge of the D, just outside the box,
Messi,
as though extending an invitation to him. The stadium went cold. With his hands clutched and his eyes glazed with anxiety, David Beckham watched the world's greatest player cradle the ball with a serenity that defied logic at the time. It was a 1-1 score. It was crushing pressure. Messi appeared to be entering a memory that he had experienced 1,000 times. The timestamp that Miami will never forget then appeared. 93 minutes and 47 seconds. The free kick was curled into the upper corner by Messi. Excellent. Not possible. Unavoidable. Beckham started crying. The mythology would only spread to Atlanta United, their next opponent. Messi's first start for Inter Miami felt more like the beginning of a fairy tale being written in real time than it did like a football game. When he scored the first goal, just 7 minutes had gone by. Messi didn't hesitate as Robert Taylor, his unusual but superb teammate in the League Cup, slid him the perfect pass while the stadium was still settling into its seats. As if to remind everyone that magic doesn't require warming up, he just guided the ball home. Messi had turned the tide once more by the time the scoreboard showed 30 in the 53rd minute. This time, he turned provider, launching a scorching counterattack across the field and carrying the ball with that smooth glide until releasing it at the precise millimeter Robert Taylor required. After being touched, the Finn curled his body past the keeper. Another stadium startled, another chapter written. Only a few weeks prior, nobody could have predicted Miami's place at the top of their group when they concluded the group stage with all 6 points. Next was the round of 32. There was a lot of rivalry and strain during the Florida Derby against Orlando. Messi didn't enter that field on foot. He barged into it. He showed the league that he wasn't here for the holidays by fighting fiercely for every ball from the first whistle. Messi somehow ghosted between players who had been marking him a second earlier and chested the ball down with divine control right on the penalty spot after Taylor fired in a cross in the 6th minute. He hit a volley into the net a heartbeat later. An objective so clear that it seemed destiny. However, the evening didn't end there. Together, Taylor and Joseph Martinez created a move in the 72nd minute that split Orlando open and set up Messi for another goal, clinching a 3-1 victory and propelling Miami farther into an unimaginably long-lasting fantasy, and the story would take an even more bizarre turn with Dallas, the next team that stood in Messi's way. Leo Messi returned to his Barcelona persona against Dallas. It was literally as though he had taken out the version of himself that had terrorized Europe for 10 years by opening a hidden drawer in time. He mirrored that famous Alba Messi link at the Santiago Bernabeu with his first goal. Messi arrived with a single touch to tuck the ball into the bottom corner after a delayed cutback that was precisely weighted. Precise and calm as ever, however, the game suddenly fell into complete mayhem. Dallas took a 3-1 lead. Even though Miami appeared unsettled, young Benjamin Kashi, the apprentice, got one back on minute 65 to make it 3-2. Robert Taylor unintentionally scored an own goal moments later at 67, and the evening seemed hopeless. But when Messi is on the field, the sense of despair seldom lasts. Leo's wicked cross in the 85th minute prompted an own goal, reviving Miami. Then the moment arrived that stopped everyone in the stadium from breathing. Dallas and Cruz all both committed the same transgression. Messi was given a free kick close to the box's edge. The number 10 was the focus of everyone's attention. Both the shot and the stillness felt just like the Champions League match against Liverpool. Messi turned sorrow into amazement once more by curling it in with unbelievable accuracy, squaring the score 4-4. Miami advanced to the quarterfinals as Kaski, the trainee, made the game-winning kick in the penalty shoot. Charlotte is next. Charlotte was never going to have a chance. Before Messi even had to step in, Miami's pink rage unleashed with a merciless 3-0. Leo Campana then slipped a pass across goal in the 86th minute. And Messi showed up to confidently and effortlessly tap it in. With a fourth goal, a fourth chapter, Miami, a squad that had previously been written off, was unexpectedly in the League Cup semifinals. They were among the final 4 teams standing under Messi and Tata Martino, the Philadelphia Union, the MLS leaders in 2023 and the strongest team on paper, were waiting for them. Miami, however, did not flinch. From the first whistle, they were in control. In the 3rd minute, Joseph Martinez scored an incredible goal, then Messi scored the longest goal of his career, a 32-meter drive that slammed into the net like a comet. This was genuinely exceptional. With a midfield assist from Messi, Alba added another. Before halftime, Miami scored a 4th goal. In order to complete the masterpiece, Messi gave David Ruiz the opportunity to score his first goal of the competition. Once more, the unthinkable had occurred. A few weeks prior, nobody would have thought that Messi had led Miami to the championship game. And waiting for him to win the title, Nashville, the pinnacle of the miracle. The final had the feel of an impending storm. The weight of a club yearning for its first taste of glory was felt in every touch and pass. After 22 minutes, Messi pounced on the ball that Benjamin Kasky had dropped at the box's edge. Walker Zimmerman appeared to be nothing more than a training cone as he slid past him, creating just enough room for his left foot before bending the ball into the top corner with that familiar, devastating ease. The first objective of the evening and the first glimmer of hope. With a stunning header in the 56th minute, Nashville retaliated, and the game abruptly entered a knife-edge rhythm. The moment that stopped every heartbeat then arrived. Sergio Bus made the tournament's most spectacular pass in the 90th minute, leaving Leo Campana all by himself against the goalie. Campana curved his body, ran forward, and slammed the shot off the post. Time came to a halt. Messi kept his head in his hands. The stadium held its breath. The entire planet blinked in shock. Miami had been on the verge of grandeur and had missed it, long and agonizing. The penalties that followed felt like an endless jewel of wills. Goalie Drake Calendarer finally stepped up, scored, and then saved to seal a 10-9 victory after shot and conversion after conversion. Into Miami, a squad that had just won its first trophy in club history had been floundering, faltering, and all but forgotten. Messi had accomplished the unthinkable. He had transformed a team devoid of identity, self-assurance, and vitality into champions. As Pep Guardiola once stated, he had come to conquer, compete, and transform. America has now seen the full impact of that. He was far from done when the GOAT showed up. Leo Messi hardly had time to catch his breath. He had to immediately transition into MLS mode a week after winning the League Cup because he was hungry, desperate, and rejuvenated in Miami and wanted to ride the wave of their incredible run and make it to the playoffs. His MLS debut against the New York Red Bulls followed. A game that seemed to be the beginning of something new. Messi did more than merely score. Together with Jordi Alba and Benjamin Kasky, he created the most spectacular goal of the season. He then slid the ball into the net as if leaving his mark on the league. Miami and Nashville drew in the subsequent games. Then, on one of the most eagerly awaited evenings in American football, Messi and Inter Miami took on Carlos Vela's LFC. Leo played conductor under the Hollywood lights, leading Miami to a 3-1 victory that electrified the nation and rocked the city with 2 spectacular assists. Everything was oriented toward the sky. Everything seemed unstoppable. But then disaster struck. Messi missed 6 of the last 9 league games due to a harsh, unexpected, and inevitable muscle injury. Miami's magic vanished without him. They eventually missed out on the playoffs after managing just 2 more victories as they slipped down the standings. Instead of ending abruptly, the dream faded slowly and painfully. Messi, however, does not tolerate incomplete narratives. He's not one to accept what could have been. Thus, he and Inter Miami came back with a mission in 2024. To completely change the history of the league, not merely to compete. The actual change started at that point. The events of 2024 seemed to have been crafted by a storyteller who had finally overcome his fear of coming across as unbelievable. Inter Miami did more than just win games. They finished with an incredible 74 points, one more than the New England Revolution's historic 2021 run, shattering the record for the most points in an MLS regular season. Additionally, this Miami team didn't slip past their opponents when they made the decision to win. They overpowered them. However, the season wasn't always as dramatic. It started off like a storm building. Shaky at first, erratic, and even Messi, for all his genius, was unable to ensure the engine would start. However, Miami not only rose to prominence after that, but they also overtook everyone else. It wasn't magic that appeared out of nowhere. It was made by people who were already skilled in creating dynasties, and in the center of Miami, Messi, Luis Suarez, Sirius Busquets, and Jordi Alba recreated FC Barcelona's essence by fusing instinct and experience, memory and ambition. However, it wasn't limited to veterans. It was the youthful blood, too. Each of them, Diego Gomez, Benjamin Kasky, and Tomasil, took a bold step forward, accepting the burden of expectation and using it as fuel. And Messi was Messi. He demonstrated once more at the age of 37 that his rules differ from those of regular athletes. On paper, 20 goals and 16 assists in 19 games seems ridiculous, but the stats only scraped the surface. Every match was changed by his leadership, excitement, and gravitational pull. Against Real Salt Lake, he assisted Robert Taylor to start the season, and in the second week, after reuniting with Jordi Alba like in the past, he heroically saved Miami against LA Galaxy with a goal in the 90th minute. Suarez should also receive flowers, or perhaps a statue. Messi and Suarez destroyed their rivals with 2 goals apiece in a vicious 50-0 performance in the Florida Derby against Orlando, but football never permits a flawless script. Week 4. Messi's injuries soon reappeared after he wasn't called up for the game against Montreal, which ended in a 3-2 loss. 3 games were missed by him. Miami drew 1-1 with New York City, lost 4-0 to the Red Bulls, and defeated DC United 3-1. Next, the GOAT, Messi, went on to have one of his best runs in an Inter Miami shirt, contributing 15 goals in 5 games. 8 assists and 7 goals. Absolute insanity. It started with a long-range blow versus Colorado that was expertly hammered into the far post. Kansas City followed. Messi scored an incredible top corner goal after threading a stunning pass through 3 defenders for Diego Gomez. A few minutes late. And Messi. Suarez's late goal in the 70th minute gave Miami a 3-2 victory. Davis loses it to Gomez. Gomez back post. Nashville faced a well-known victim in Week 10. In the 10th minute, Messi headed the penalty area in response to their initial goal. Messi continues to go to his left. Super one-handed stop produced a huge save. Then, in the 38th, he helped Buzet with a fantastic near-post corner. That one should worry you. Panico finished the 3-1 comeback by winning and then scoring a penalty. Following that, Miami destroyed New England 4-1 thanks to goals from Leo in the 30th and 67th minutes, yes, all the way to Messi. In the 87th, they then gave Suarez a beautiful assist. A missile into the angle. Then came May 4, 2024, a date worthy of its own chapter in the history of Major League Soccer, in order to level the playing field, into Miami. Destroyed the New York Red Bulls 6-2, but Messi was involved in each and every goal. 1 goal, 5 assists. He fell behind early, Miami. Rojas used a thunderbolt to equalize. Matias Rojas fires and shoots in the center. The Messi show then started. An objective at 49 ahead, the mayhem unfolded. A fast shot was fired. Proceed, Rojas received a scoop assist at age 61. Messi's return. Messi completes that. This is Rojos. Put down the flag. Suarez's scissor kick at 68 was a whipping cross. I'm able to play this already tonight. A flawless 1-2 to release Suarez once more at 74. Chosen player of the month on Thursday in 3 weeks. And observe what he is doing this evening. Suarez's return. Luis Suarez once more, and lastly, Suarez's elegant finish after around the goalie during the 80-minute assist. 1 game, 5 assists, complete insanity. Messi played just 6 games after that before leaving for the Copa America. Skipped Orlando's 0-0 match. Played the whole 90 minutes of a 1-0 victory over DC United. Was given a break during the victory over Vancouver. Scored in the Atlanta loss. Bruce reaches Messi. In a 3-3 tie with St. Louis, Lionel Messi took a chance and scored the first goal. Jordi Alba returns to Messi. 9 games were missing before the break. 5 because he went on to win the Copa America with Argentina, and 4 more following a final day ligament injury. The most startling aspect is as follows. 8 of the 9 games were won by Miami without him. There was only 1 loss, a reflection of a team that had adopted Messi's mindset. However, the GOAT made a comeback versus Philadelphia Union on September 14, 2024. Messi played each of the final 7 games as though he were piecing together the last chapters of a book. He was determined to complete. He made his comeback against the Philadelphia Union, and in a few minutes, He reaffirmed his identity to everyone. He sat his defender on the turf and buried the first goal with a brutal cut inside the box. 5 minutes later, Messi gently guided the ball into the net after Jordi Alba rolled a pass to the penalty spot. He dropped deep close to the box's edge just before halftime, opened his body, and made a flawless ball to Suarez, who finished spectacularly in the top corner. Because Leo had returned to life, Miami had come back to life. Another little of magic arrived in week 34. Messi scored from outside the box in the 66th minute, saving a vital point and advancing into Miami just one game away from winning the Supporters' Shield. And then October 2nd, 2024, came Columbus Crew versus Inter Miami. The Hurricanes would be crowned the top team of the MLS regular season with a win. Naturally, the individual who consistently shows up reappeared. Messi scored the first goal in the 44th minute after slicing through opponents in a move similar of Julian Alvarez's goal against Croatia. He curled a brilliant free kick into the top corner just before halftime. Miami made history by winning 3-2 and turning the weakest team in Major League Soccer into the top team of 2024. Miami had assimilated Messi's DNA completely by this point. Trophies were no longer enough for the Pink Fury. They desired a legacy. Their goal was to become the best regular season club in Major League Soccer history. They needed 2 more victories to do it. The first was a close 1-0 victory over Toronto. They then played New England on October 19, 2024. And the Goats came forward once more that evening. Miami was trailing 2-0. Suarez scored 2 deadly goals to turn the game around. The young American then blasted in the third with a stunning connection between Messi, Alba, and Kasky, and the fans saw a Messi masterclass starting at minute 77. A long-range projectile toward the distant corner came first. 3 minutes later, a cool surgical finish and a deft dart behind the final line. Finally, Messi appeared at the back post to tap in his hat-trick after Suarez delivered a beautiful cross in the 88th minute. With the triumph, Miami surpassed the renowned New England Revolution of 2021 by 1 point and broke the all-time MLS record for points in a season 74. Nobody could stop this team once they made the decision to win. However, football is brutal. The top teams don't always prevail. Atlanta eliminated Messi and Miami in their first MLS playoff knockout game. A terrible blow to both Tata Martino and Leo. When the Argentine manager submitted his resignation a few days later, a well-known face entered the center of the pink rage. Messi regards a warrior as a brother. Arriving to take over was Javier Mascherano. Lionel Andres Messi and Inter Miami had a year in 2025 that will go down in football history. In addition to evolving, David Beckham's concept took off. If he can locate him, from Alba Suarez at the far post. Alba chips that travel to the distant post. Not entirely cleansed. Returning to Messi's score, Miami played 60 games in 4 different tournaments, more than any other North American team had ever played in a single season. What's even more amazing is that they weren't passengers. In every competition, they were the main players. Messi gave a continental masterclass in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Miami defeated Sporty Kansas City with 5 goals, 1 assist, and a degree of dominance that raises one above the ground. Defeated by Messi, LFC and Leo Messi all the way to the semifinals. Against the Vancouver Whitecaps, the trip came to a standstill. However, Messi's brilliance was evident throughout the competition. After that, Inter Miami authored a chapter in the Club World Cup that CONCACAF could never have predicted. Thanks to a spectacular goal from Messi against Porto, they were the first side in CONCACAF history to defeat a UEFA opponent in an official tournament. It's time for Messi. In a display of football, mayhem, and bravery, they held Palmeiras to a thrilling 2-2 tie. Luis Suarez passes 1 or 2. Luis Suarez was still in the running and ultimately lost to Luis Enrique's Champions League winning PSG in the knockout stage. This is Barca Hakeim from the However, Miami had already altered the global discourse surrounding American football by that point. The Pink Fury made a comeback to the League Cup final. Messi scored 2 assists against Atlas to start the campaign. It is played centrally here by Alba. Messi is present. Suarez for Messi. In support of Lionel Messi does a great job. Oh no. And scored 2 goals against Orlando in the semifinals. Settles. Jordi Alba and Messi, demonstrating once more that the number 10 burned brighter as the lights grew brighter. However, it was in Major League Soccer, MLS, that Messi's fame peaked and he created irrefutable, unadulterated history. From the first whistle to the last, Inter Miami dominated the 2025 Major League Soccer season. In addition to winning the league, they broke the record for the most goals scored in a single Major League Soccer season with 101. Messi scored 35 goals and provided 23 assists. With numbers so ridiculous that they seem unreal, he was unquestionably named MLS MVP. He was the player Miami relied on in crucial situations, and he began the season just as he concluded the one before. Demonstrating once more that the number 10 burned brighter as the lights grew brighter. However, it was in Major League Soccer, MLS, that Messi's fame peaked and he created irrefutable, unadulterated history. From the first whistle to the last, Inter Miami dominated the 2025 Major League Soccer season. In addition to winning the league, they broke the record for the most goals scored in a single Major League Soccer season with 101. Messi scored 35 goals and provided 23 assists. With numbers so ridiculous that they seem unreal, he was unquestionably named MLS MVP. He was the player Miami relied on in crucial situations, and he began the season just as he concluded the one before. He provided 2 early assists, and in the first week, he made a flawless pass in the 90th minute to give Mascherano's team a thrilling draw. Then came the goals, a trio of outstanding goals in 3 straight games. Atlanta United was the first opponent. Messi left a defender on the ground, chipped the keeper with surgical composure, pressed, and stole the ball at the box's edge. The second was against Philadelphia at Chase Stadium, where Messi killed his opponent with a deadly low shot across goal after humiliating him with a bank-style cut inside. A defender vanishing in front of him, a 180-degree spin outside the box, and a thundering strike into the net's roof made the third a masterpiece. Against Minnesota and New York, he scored 2 more goals. On a night when Miami lost 4-1, the New York team scored a beautiful volley following a series of lightning-fast 1-2s with Segoya, and the Minnesota goal was the only bright spot. The Club World Cup break followed. Miami traveled, competed, suffered, and came home hungry but battered. Furthermore, Messi's actions following the World Cup were unprecedented in Major League Soccer history. After returning from the Club World Cup, Lionel Andres Messi did something quite remarkable. It was unprecedented in North American football. 15 goals in 6 games. Give that some thought. No football player in the whole Conquer CF region or in MLS history had ever achieved a run like this. It wasn't a form. It had nothing to do with momentum. Messi was sinking into a domain that only he can access. Messi's spectacular free kick in a 3-3 draw with Philadelphia marked the start of the mayhem. It serves as a reminder that for him, distorting reality is only a learned behavior. Then Montreal arrived, and Lionel exploded. An assist and 2 goals. In the 26th minute, the opening goal was scored. Another long-range missile that eluded the keeper. Suarez chipped it over the goalkeeper after he made a deft lofted pass. However, his second objective was the epitome of absolute arrogance. After a 1-2, Messi faced the goalie, waited, and then, with the composure of a guy pouring himself a cup of coffee, lifted the ball over him. The beast then actually awoke. The following game will include 2 goals and 2 assists. Yindi received the first aid. Messi was the first to notice the pass by a full second. After the goalkeeper made a terrible error and gave him the ball outside the box, he scored his first goal. Messi carefully raised it into the upper corner. Another chipped finish at the keeper's feet was his second goal. His last assist was ridiculous from his own half, as if he were rehearsing in his backyard. Fafa Pica scored the 5th goal on his own after Messi threaded a ball through the entire defense. Additionally, Inter Miami's next matchup with Montreal was a complete disaster. The first was a superb passing sequence. Vintage Messi was the second. He grabbed the ball, finished coolly past the goalkeeper, and danced past 5 defenders who could only watch hopelessly. He erased an entire defense with such ease that it was almost funny. Next were Nashville and New England, both of which fell prey to Messi's fury. Against each of them, he scored 2 goals. His first was a gift from the defense against New England. Takes a long time. Enda notices a replay. However, his second was amazing. A strike across the keeper from outside the box, a great body angle, and a dash into space. Up ahead. Messi is fleeing. Spread out. Messi versus Nashville. He scored his 5th straight brace, which began with another ridiculous free kick and was completed by another goalkeeper error that he brutally punished. Messi's season-ending performance wasn't just outstanding. It was harsh and surgical, the kind of dominance that only emerges when a team grows from its mistakes. This time, Inter Miami did not falter at the finish line like they had in the past. The New York Red Bulls were the first to watch their best performance this year, which came just when it needed most. Jordi Alba was free to score in the 23rd minute after Messi split the defense with a pass so flawless it felt drawn with a compass. Then, with the ease of a guy jogging through a park, Messi slid in behind the back line in the 59th minute, rounded the goalkeeper, and scored his first goal of the evening. His second came soon after another deft run, another struggle for space, and a brutal shot into the net's roof. Messi reminded everyone in the league that he is unguardable against LA Galaxy. He blasted a long-range strike into the net while dancing among opponents like they were mannequins. And in the 88th minute, he provided a beautiful back heel to Suarez, leaving the Uruguayan on his own against the goalkeeper to complete the task. Leo went into a higher gear as the playoffs drew near. Next were Seattle Sounders, and Messi showed off his brilliance in the 11th minute. He just fed Jordi Alba, who was absolutely unmarked, and scored with ease, as every defender rushed to stop him. And in the 40th minute, Alba returned the favor with a beautiful cross that Messi killed like the predator he is. Messi put on the cape as DC United arrived. He started by launching a stunning long pass from his own half to Allende, who finished cleanly for the first goal. In the 65th minute, Messi scored his first goal. The 84th was his second. The crowd erupted after a magnificent curled shot into the upper corner. Leo didn't end there. He added an assist and scored 2 more goals against New York City FC. His first was caused by an intense run-in behind the kindness that many claimed he had lost at his age. Coming in as a substitution break. Hill, assist in managing the midfield. Messi had a great idea. Messi for 2. Messi. The second, which left a defender immobilized with those signature body feints before slamming the ball home, was a masterwork. Tonight is different. Excellently maintained in play. Messi is on his way. Messi went into full GOAT mode as the season came to an end. Against New England, 3 assists. Messi arrives. Magic, Against Atlanta, 2 goals and an assist. Win the 3rd game of the playoffs. Messi arrives following the takeaway, and then an assist and a hat-trick against Nashville. Messi maintains control while saddling. Messi seemed to be creating the league's rules from scratch on this furious and magnificent night. Additionally, Messi going into the playoffs in GOAT mode could only indicate one thing: complete devastation. Messi's postseason run wasn't only remarkable, it was a historic event. Throughout the postseason, he had 6 goals and 9 assists. 15 goal contributions and a playoff record. A figure so ridiculous that it seems unreal. Nobody in the annals of a figure so ridiculous it seems unreal. There had never been a run like this in MLS history. Messi didn't simply step up to the plate. And he revised the potential occasion. It started in the first round. He opened his account with a thunderous header from a Luis Suarez cross, and he sealed his brace in the closing seconds of the game by punishing a defensive error. Nashville defeated Miami 2-1 in the second leg, but Messi led Beckham's team once more. It was ironic that the same defender, Edvard Sandvik, had made fun of Messi's assistance only minutes before. He scored an incredible solo goal, slipping past his marker like he was passing a child. Messi responded with a nutmeg that was audible throughout the football world. Then came the first round's pivotal contest. Miami destroyed Nashville 4-0 after Messi entered World Cup mode. Messi contributed an assist and 2 goals. He grabbed a loose ball close to the midway line in the 9th minute, ran past 4 players who were unable to foul him, and launched a rocket from the box's edge. After a magnificent pass from Zilbetti, he finished beautifully in his second. Messi then played a brilliant through ball from his own half to Allende, who floated it over the keeper for the 4th goal, to round off the evening in style. The Messi-Betti pair scored once more in the 18th minute of the quarterfinals. Messi raced into a magnificent header as the young Argentine delivered in a flawless cross. Messi repaid the favor at minute 56 with a pass that felt like a penalty in motion, which Zilbetti expertly finished like a pool player. Another Messi special followed. Allende may score with a long ball into space. As if it weren't enough, Messi scored another goal in minute 73 with an incredible tralla. A goal and 3 assists. An orchestral masterpiece. Another destruction occurred in the semifinal. Miami 5-1 NYCFC. Allende's 4th goal was assisted by Messi. He then went on to become the MLS's all-time assist leader. Another record that was completely consumed. The 2025 MLS Cup Final was the catalyst for Inter Miami's acquisition of the best player of all time. Up until minute 7, the fight was tight, suffocating, and stressful. Allende was sent into space by Rodrigo de Paul after Messi made a flawless pass to him. An own goal was caused by the cross. Tension rose like smoke as Vancouver equalized in the 59th minute. However, RDP finished with ice in his veins after Messi made the game-changing pass at minute 70, sending Vincent Paul through on goal. The sky became pink. Jordi Alba then fired a long pass to Messi at minute 95, the last minute of his career. Leo played Allende through once more while keeping it under control on his chest and preventing it from touching the ground. Miami champions of the United States won 3-1 with a single head touch, a step forward, and a composed finish into the net. The fallout from the season was unavoidable. Messi became the first player in league history to win back-to-back MVP honors when he was formally named the 2025 Landon Donovan MLS MVP. Oh! As the only 2-time MVP winner, he joined Prey's elite group. However, Messi's supremacy was unheard of. He received over 70% of the vote, winning over players, club officials, and the media. He is the only player in MLS history to have contributed at least 36 goals in multiple seasons. Like the video, subscribe to Kickster Facts, and turn on notifications for real football facts you won't hear anywhere else.